I'm pleased once again to be speaking to the music author and historian who's written over 20 books about iconic music artists and bands. Good afternoon, Peter Chexfield.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Peter, it's lovely to see you again. Now, your new book is about a lady who won the hearts of music fans in the 1960s and continued to be a superstar of stage and screen until she sadly passed away on the 1st of August 2015. That lady is Cilla Black. Now, why did you decide to write a book called Yesterday about Cilla Black?
She's obviously very famous, remains very famous, well known for various generations, but everyone's focused really on her TV career and as a personality, and she had a very big personality, but there's never been a book on her music, and few seem to take it that seriously. Yet, her first big hit, Anyone Who Had a Heart, was the best-selling single of the 60s by a UK female artist, bigger than Dusty and Lulu and everyone else.
Now, Cilla grew up in Liverpool. What type of upbringing did she have?
Poor working class, Catholic, I believe, in a Catholic area, when there was a lot of divisions at the time still in Liverpool, in Protestants and Catholic. Poor, but happy. And I was looking at an interview the other day of, I think it was on Parkinson, and she said they never had a front door even. There was above a barber's, and you had to go round an alley or through the barber's. And as soon as she got money, she bought her mum a house with a front door, and that was such a big thing. Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. So.
And before Cilla became famous, she had a couple of jobs. One of those was working in a very famous club in Liverpool.
Yeah, she was a secretary by trade, but then she started working, all the hours she can in the cloakroom as in the cavern in Liverpool. The history books say she was a hat girl, but people say no one wore hats for the cavern. She took her coats and gave them some soup and Coca-Cola during the interval and all that. But then she'd jump on stage with various people, including the Beatles and Jerry and the Pacemakers, King Size Taylor and the Dominoes, the Undertakers, virtually every band that played there.
So she was part of the Mersey crew?
Yeah, she was even offered the chance to go to Hamburg. I believe it was with King Size Taylor and the Dominoes. It was very big in Liverpool and in Hamburg, but her father wouldn't give her permission. She was too young, and she was too young to sign for herself, so and that's the reason she didn't go. But yeah, she was very, very much part of the scene.
And in the early days, who was her manager?
Brian Epstein. Obviously, he managed the Beatles and Jerry and the Pacemakers and Billy J. Kramer and a few others.
And what was Cilla's first release?
It was Love of the Loved. It was a Lennon McCartney song. The publicity at the time claimed that they wrote it specially for her, but Cilla knew that wasn't true. She'd heard them sing it at the Cavern loads of times. But yeah, it was a moderate hit, got to number 35, but got her started.
And Cilla's real name was Cilla White. How did she become Cilla Black?
It was in a Mersey Beat magazine. The person who run it, Bill Harry, it had a long day working and all that, and her real name was Priscilla White, but she called herself, her stage name was Cilla White at the time, and she wrote a column for Mersey Beat magazine. But the person who published it, Bill Harry, it had a long day and suddenly had a brainstorm, and he called her Cilla Black, and everyone started calling her Cilla Black, and she loved it. Her parents hated it because she became famous with a different name, but yeah, it just worked better.
And Cilla had hit after hit in the 1960s. Was she ever successful in America?
Moderately. You're My World was her biggest hit there, got to about number 25, I believe. She appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show several times and in Cabaret over there, but they never really took to her in the same way as they did, Dusty Springfield and Petula Clark and a few others.
And what was Cilla's biggest hit?
Well, the second and third single, really, Anyone Who Had a Heart and You're My World. They both got to number one. I believe she was the first female artist in the UK to have consecutive number ones. Yeah, people like the Beatles and Jerry and the Pacemakers had, but not female artists. So, yeah, she's really real groundbreaker.
Cilla ventured out and appeared in TV shows and was much loved by Des O'Connor. She also did the theme tune to Please Sir with Derek Guyler.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was only a B-side, unfortunately, the actual song. But yeah, she did. Yeah, I mean, in those days, as you probably know, a lot of the comedy programs, whether it was Steptoe and Son or Bless This House, he had movie spin-offs, and there was a movie spin-off of Please Sir, a very popular program. I was about 7 or 8 at the time, but I still remember it. I loved it. But yeah, and she did the theme tune to the movie.
And then in the 70s, Cilla seemed to branch out and get more involved with TV.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Epstein, who we mentioned earlier, he died in 1967. And yeah, obviously she was devastated. They were very close, but apparently, in front of his body when he was found, were the final contracts for her own TV series, which were called Cilla, and that finally started in 1968. But then it went on for about 8 years, and then after that, eventually by the 80s and 90s, by blind date and surprise, she was the highest paid woman on British TV, which you know, for a poor girl who started at the Cavern, you know, actually unbelievable.
And Cilla had this natural talent and gift to be an entertainer and a singer. She also married her childhood sweetheart, Bobby, who sadly passed away. Was Bobby a driving force behind Cilla's success?
Yeah, very much so. And also he wrote nearly all the B-sides of her big hits. So you know, they would have got, you know, obviously that they lived together, and would have got a lot of royalties through that.
And as I said earlier, sadly, Cilla passed away on the 1st of August 2015. She received so many tributes from great megastars.
She did, yeah. Obviously, people like Paul O'Grady, she became very close to. Cliff Richard, she'd always been close to, yeah. And Jimmy Tarbuck, the Beatles themselves. I believe Ringo and Paul sent their condolences. Yeah, obviously she was much loved. And ironically, as happens so often when they pass away, she had her first #1 album, you know, a week later, but when her greatest hits thing, you know, got to #1.
Well, Peter, this is another excellent book, Cilla Black, Yesterday. Where did you source all this amazing information and photos?
Years of research, but the actual photos, yeah, various you know, websites, which cost me a small fortune to buy the you know, the usage rights, but I think it's worth it. I think Cilla Black, she was such an icon. I think she deserved, you know, really one of the best books I could come up with, even if I spent a lot more than normal. Whether it pays off or not financially, I don't care. I'm just proud of the book.
Yes, it is an excellent book. And if our listeners would like to purchase Cilla Black Yesterday, where can they go?
Amazon, the biggest bookshop in the world. Yeah, and if not, I've got a website. Just Google my name, Peter Chexfield, and email me. And if you don't use Amazon or don't want to use Amazon, I can come up with something.
Well, Peter, congratulations on another great book, Cilla Black Yesterday. And thank you for speaking to us today.
Thank you, Chris.
This is Cilla Black and Elfie.